do? What do I do? I've gained the ability through taking courses to be able to talk to your spirit guides and loved ones on the other side. Um, People always ask me why I don't call myself a psychic. Really, it comes down to I hate that name. I hate that term. I think there's too much negative connotation with it. So I call myself a channeler. And really, that's what I do. I channel messages from your spirit guides and
Okay.
loved ones that have crossed over already. Gone home. That's home, by the way. Home is the other side. We come to visit here. We live over there. Spirit guides. What are they? They are souls. We are a soul. Our soul embodies our bodies embodies our soul. So when we take our last breath on Earth, our soul returns to the other side. We have a spirit family on the other side, and members of that spirit families agreed to be your guide while you're here on Earth to try to give you guidance. 99.9% of the times we don't listen because... Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kevali Channeling Presents for... What date is it? It's March 27th. Holy, the end of March already. Ready to go into April. We have an awesome guest today. I am so looking forward to having a chat with Mr. Morgan Silas Donnelly. I'm going to let him tell you his story, and we're going to have an awesome hour. If you have questions as we go along, by all means, please just put them in the chat. I hopefully will be able to see them. Whether you're listening to us on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, whichever social media platform you decided to tune in from, we will get to it. So without further ado, I will click this button and hopefully magically Mr. Morgan arrives. How are you, sir?
Good. Happy. How's it going?
It is going fantastic. It's been a wild week, so it's been good. How about you?
Monday.
It's only Monday. I know, and it's a wild week. It's like, holy, my headphones are messing up my hair. Ken would be disgusted in me. Oh, we love you, Ken. I know Ken always watches the show, usually afterwards, because it's only like 9 o'clock in the morning morning where he is. He knows he's not going to be awake yet.
No.
So, Morgan, how did you and I first meet? How did you and I first connect?
Oh, I'm going to say it was in Ken Lewicki's channeling class, probably like number 2 or something like that.
I believe it was either 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember which one, but it was one of the courses. Yeah. So you've been doing this about the same length of time that I've been doing this since you've taken Ken's courses.
Yeah, absolutely. And long story short, met Ken, and basically he said, "Hey, that's great, blah, 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 go away, kid." So I went away for a year, came back the next year. He was at a psychic fair in Kelowna.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, "Oh, you've got more juice this year. You should sign up. Now it's okay for you to sign up," type thing.
Oh, wow. See, It's funny because I've seen Ken at many fairs, and I have seen him say, "You know what? No, you're not ready to take this course." And as a business guy, I'm like, well, that's just dumb. You're supposed to take everybody. But he's fair that way. He knows when people are ready.
Yeah.
So your journey, that's what we talk about, is how we got to where we are. Let's talk about it. When did you first realize there was something more to life than just the 9 to 5?
Well, one way back when I was about 3 or 4 years old, I remember looking in the mirror, and there was this little kid looking back at me, and he had how little kids sometimes have the ear stick. And I'm going like, who the hell is this kid? Who is this person? Who is this little person with the huge... And I stayed with that for about a minute or two, and then it just, went away.
Right.
But I've always been claircognizant. I've always had kind of that inner knowing.
Okay.
I was the annoying kid in class who usually would give the teacher the correct answer when he asked.
Just, and it was, you didn't have to study, you just knew it.
I just, yep. Oh, it's, whatever, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, sometimes.
Yeah.
Then it went away. It went away when I was a young adult doing the drinking and all that good stuff.
Of course.
And long story short, 2012, started to relax, started to break out of old patterns, started to go camping, started to do
Nice.
long road trips camping.
Yeah.
And that just relaxed me.
Nice.
And eventually I went and I met the girl.
Met the girl.
Met the girl. And it was just like whoosh, kind of, if you're familiar with the twin flame or the soulmate or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Poof. And I went like a rocket, and she didn't really, which always is like, oh, it's like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
But I did, and then it came back down to earth, and eventually met Ken, and eventually met you, and yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, had you done any channeling or any kind of mediumship or anything like that before you met Ken? Like, was that something where you're like, this, I know this is what I need to do?
Well, funny enough, I basically scared the girl when I channeled during a date or two.
Oops.
Yeah. I just said, hey, come on, girl, come on, sit down. I got something to tell you. And it was like, and I didn't understand at the time what was going on.
Well, of course.
Right. But short answer, no. No,
like I go back and I look at my youth. I constantly saw things other people didn't. I constantly had dreams that other people didn't. Things happened around me that weren't normal, I'll say. Lights would turn on a lamp that wasn't plugged in.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen? Like, that's just not normal. Did you find that some of that stuff happened to you as you're getting through your teenage years?
No, the teenage years were relatively boring, and I was actually chatting to Erin, and I was talking to her, and I said something like, "Oh, are you one of those annoying ones that have had it since birth and just kept going with it?" Because I had the break.
Yes. Well, see, I buried it because it wasn't cool. It wasn't the cool. Why do I do air quotes? The only time I do air quotes is when I'm live on the air. I never do air quotes in real life. It's so weird. Well, maybe I do and I don't realize it. I just see myself on camera doing air quotes and I'm like, what am I doing? Anyways, rabbit. So where was I going with that?
We broke away. We shuttered it.
Oh, yeah.
Put it on
I shut it down because it wasn't cool. And from probably like 15, 16 on until well into my adulthood, it was like, no, I don't want. But weird things still happened. I always knew there was something else out there compared to just the 9 to 5 daily. You live, you die. That's the end of the existence.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Dad wanted me to take over the family farm, which would have been, looking back, it would have been okay. They're telling me no.
No, it was really funny because obviously connected with your guides and they're like, absolutely not.
But I knew that. And even though I'm telling you that I shuttered it, or I put it on the shelf, I still had the intuition.
Yes.
I still had it. No, that's not my path, even though I wouldn't say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because even like you were saying, no, nothing. And then you're like, oh, well, I met this girl. And on one of our first couple dates, I decided I was going to give her a reading. It's like, you were channeling even back then. It's really funny because I talk to people and they're like, oh, I don't channel. And I'm like, yeah, you do. Even though you might not think you do, you really do. I'll never forget, even before I took Ken's courses. No, it was after I took Ken's courses. Ellison and I went to a psychic fair. And we both were just walking through and we were attracted to this one table with this one lady. And we did a reading with her. She did like tarot cards. And it was amazing, so accurate. And after she's finished, I'm like, wow, your channeling ability is phenomenal. And she looked me dead square in the eye. She goes, oh, I don't channel. And I was like,
I know.
yeah, you do.
Well, I'm finding that people have different labels for different things, right? Like mediumship is different than psychic, is different than channeling, and like depending on who you're talking to and what day of
Yes.
the month it is, right? So,
Isn't it? Yes.
yeah.
Especially for new people like us. I mean, it's only been, what, 3 years that we've been doing this?
Yeah.
On a regular
Yeah.
basis, I'll say. Um, it's funny when I hear people, it's like, what do you call it? That's not what you do. And I guess it's just labels, really. It's all just labels.
It's someone's understanding of how to make their world make sense. Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a great way to put it, Morgan.
Yeah.
Great way to put it.
And
So, you met Ken the first time, and
yeah.
at a psychic fair in Kelowna,
Yeah.
and he said, "No, you're not ready for us."
Not ready. And I, if I remember correctly, I did pretty good because if people don't know Ken, he sits down and he gets you talking to your guides, and he was trying to get me to talk to my guide, who I'm going to say at that time was a woman, and I thought I did really good.
I thought it was pretty accurate.
Yeah, there's a girl and she's saying this and she's saying that, and it's like, yeah, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
Yeah, exactly.
But no.
So then, the following year, you met him again.
Yeah, met him again, and even stronger. And I could, looking back, I haven't looked back until just this second, but it was stronger, and it was, I was better
prepared.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah.
What drew you to go? Like, what made you decide I need to go to this psychic fair? Was that one of the first psychic fairs you went to, or is it something you were pursuing?
So just backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
So met the girl in the summer of 2018, and I hadn't really done much in the way of psychic stuff before that. But then, of course, I had all these experiences and all this stuff. And I was trying to make sense of it and do a little bit of reading, the Deepak Chopra and the Dream Virtue at that time, Kyle Gray. And then there was like a psychic fair just right up the street almost. And so I said, hell yeah, I'll go do that. And they just happened to be there.
Oh, very cool.
And shout out to Hillary Hansen. She was there as well. She might be listening.
Oh, nice. Nice. I hope Hillary, if you're listening, you got to tell us you're listening. Say hi. When you took Ken's courses, what was your goal? Like, what was the purpose of taking the course for you? We both laugh because I know what his answer is, and he knows what my answer is.
It's like, I just wanted to survive.
No, I wanted to figure it out.
yeah, like just to see how far I could go, and just I was curious, right? I was curious.
Yeah, what was happening inside your head? I mean, am I going nuts? Does everybody see what I see? Does everybody know what I know? Because sometimes you just know stuff that you're not supposed to know, and it's especially as we get older. It's like, why am I knowing this?
Right? Like, why did I pick this instead of that? Or or oh my God, if you go to the restaurant and you want to order the salmon, but your guides are screaming, "Don't get the salmon," or whatever. Don't get that plate, and you get it and you pay for it the next day, and it's like,
and you're like, I should have listened.
That's
And it's funny when we look back now, because now we know it was our guides. Then it's like, why am I questioning whether I want the salmon or not? Of course I want the salmon.
I want the salmon. Like,
no, I don't. You don't. And I'm like, of course I do. Who's telling me no? Like, this doesn't. I'm going crazy. But it was funny because when I first took level 1 with Ken, it was all Allison's idea. Of course, I've told my story many times. And when I agreed to take it, I can shut this stuff off. That was my goal. I didn't want this stuff in my life. It was like, nope. Ken, teach me how to turn it off because it's driving me crazy. And it was, I'm going to say probably 10 minutes into level 1, I went, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. When was it that you realized, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing?
mostly mean it felt right, and it felt
Yeah.
like it was the good thing to do instead
Yes.
of doing whatever else activity I could have been doing. Yeah, like I wanted to be in the chair to be in the class.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Now, your company is called B Tracks.
Yeah,
How did you
yeah.
come up with B Tracks?
Sure, it kind of a cute story. So a little bit more backtracking. I have many modalities, and I have took a number of workshops and all this stuff. And so I've kind of, as one very unkind lady said, she said something along the lines of, you're a jack of all trades and a master of none, Morgan, smarten up." But but to me that makes a lot of sense. And
Yes.
2 summers ago was in the garden and watched the bees. There was flowers and there were bees, and the fat little honeybee would go to one flower and then go over 20 paces and go to that flower and then come back and it was a really meandering journey, and I'm like, oh well, that's me right now.
Nice.
I'm a fat little honeybee.
I'm just a fat little honeybee, not really knowing what I'm supposed to do, but I'm going
Right,
this way and that way and this way.
right.
It's funny because it's funny you bring that up the way you did. Um, as I started on my journey and after level 2, as you know, I knew exactly what I was going to do.
Yeah,
Ken tells you to go out and do, I think, 20 readings.
yeah, yeah.
I did 75.
Oh
it was,
wow.
it
Yeah,
was like, I loved it. It was the best natural high I've ever had. And it's not like a adrenaline rush high. And it took me a long time to be able to put it into words. When I do a reading, and I tell my clients this all the time, I get just as much out of the reading as my clients do because
yeah,
it fills my soul. And when you can fill your soul with love, with light, whatever the word you want to label it with, it's a natural high for you.
yeah.
And it's not like an adrenaline high or anything like that. It's just I'm buzzing. Like it's just the way it is. Does that make sense to you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
After I've been doing a couple workshops lately with both by myself and in collaborations, and yeah, you get in front of a group or you get in front of a couple people, and it's bing, 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 and
Oh, it's
yeah.
amazing. No, you've gone on like you do tarot cards.
I do tarot cards, and I actually drew a few just a moment ago.
Yes, yes, yes. We're going to talk about that in a sec. Your guides are like, oh, your guides are literally going, oh yeah, this is going to be fun. And I'm like, okay. But what other modalities do you have? I know that you do meet. Do you do mediumship or did you?
I I do mediumship.
Okay.
It's one of those. It kind of depends on how I'm feeling that day more than anything, but
Oh, really? Okay. Your
mediumship
guides are
and
laughing
this,
at you.
right, yeah, psychic and quantum healing. So I have Reiki, and I do actually I have my own quantum healing modality that I haven't quite named yet, but it has to do with clearing the outside and then clearing the inside of the person of energetic debris. And
Oh,
it's different than Reiki though,
it
but
is.
it's inspired by it.
That's something you've done on your own.
Yeah, it was like I took a class actually. Laura teaches fractaline, which is a quantum healing modality. And
Okay.
I'm going through it, and I think I was in about class number 2, and I'm going like, wait a minute, I've done this before. And I started to tweak what she was talking about into my own.
Yes.
Yeah. And my claim to fame though is the psychic storytelling. I love the psychic storytelling because it involves a lot of modalities, including the Akashic.
Okay.
And usually what happens, it's usually very whimsical and it's usually very cute. And one example recently, woman wanted to know how her life was going, like the boyfriend, the career, and all that stuff.
Exactly.
And instead of doing what I'm going to call traditional, the guides went in and, okay, you're a little fairy, you hopped down off of your tree, you went for a walk, and you met 5 different villages. And each village was talking about the little, whatever was going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so you call it psychic storytelling.
Yeah.
That's
Mostly because people don't seem to know what a kosh is. Like you're in the shopping mall, people don't know what a kosh is,
no,
but they know
we
what a
talk,
psychic.
and it's funny because we talk about this kind of stuff all the time: Akashic records, the astral realm, etc., etc. And
Yeah.
when we're talking to people who haven't started their journey, they're looking at you like,
What?
huh? Say
Yeah.
what? And it's funny because I do the Ask Ken show with Ken Lewicki, and he'll go off on a tangent on something, and I'll almost have to interrupt
Real.
him. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa! You mentioned this, this, and this. Can you explain what those are? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people listening that might not know.
And again, maybe he has a different label for, something.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Um, they want to delve into your what do you call it? Healing,
I call it quantum healing.
quantum healing.
Yeah,
Um, is that something you're offering people right now?
I do. It's on my list of services on my Facebook page. Yes.
It's on my list of services. That's awesome. I love the way you said that. Now, you had mentioned that almost like you were a jack of all trades but a master of none.
Yeah.
Did you try to do too much at once and then have to scale it back down?
Basically, I was super curious and super happy to just learn everything I could and go, oh, yeah.
I could do
And as well, but it also kept me safe too. I didn't have to make a decision, right? And I mean, you never
yes,
have to make a decision,
right.
but I'm learning. I'm leaning towards like the Akashic storytelling and the quantum healing and the channeling's coming through quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
The quantum healing, is that done over, can you do that over Zoom or is that an in-person only?
It's distance. I've only well, no, I have done it in person, but mostly I've done it distance. Yeah,
Nice.
and
That is going to be very helpful for a lot of people.
so for example, just quick, my sister, she had a bit of vertigo one day, and she was in rough shape, and
Yeah.
I said, oh well, let me try, because what else is she gonna do, right? The
Well,
aspirin's
yeah.
not working. And so I did it, and cleared what I saw around her and cleared what I saw inside of her. And she went and had a nap or something, and then 2 hours later she said, "Yeah, I feel better."
Wow.
So I'll let people decide what they make of that, but it's just energy. Where everything's energy, right? Everything's energy.
Everything is energy. I still, as you know, I suffer from long COVID, and I've had so many people go, "Oh, I could cure you," and I'm like, "Okay, give it a shot." Guess what? I'm still sick. Um, but I've been to Kim. I used to get really bad sinus infections. Um, Taken literally once a month, I'd be on antibiotics to clear it,
Yeah.
and I went to Kim one session.
Mm.
Haven't had an antibiotic since,
Good.
and that was, geez, almost 2 years ago now. I can't explain it. It doesn't literally the non-spiritual part of my brain goes, that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense. No.
Right? I've learned now to stop questioning it.
Right. Take the good and just you expect a miracle, and maybe it'll get done.
Exactly, exactly. Now, we talked off air. You're on Vancouver Island.
I'm on sunshiny, supernatural British Columbia.
I love the island. What part of the island are you on? Whereabouts on the island are you?
Mid Island, Chemainus to be specific, the little town with the murals.
Wow, my ex-brother-in-law is in Chemainus. I've been there.
Right on, best ice cream.
There was. How long have you'd not been there very long, have you?
About a year.
Yeah, okay. My nephew worked in Chemainus for a long time. He was a dancer and an actor. And coming into Chemainus, there's a big sign. It's probably not there anymore, but it was him doing some kind of a dance twirl or something in a sailor suit. No, it wasn't a sailor suit. It was him in a dancing in this production they have downtown Chemainus. There was a big production theater.
Yeah. There's a big theater, and they get a lot of tours. And
yes, yeah. That was beautiful town. I love the murals. It's just amazing.
Yeah. It's a nice, easy to walk town. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I didn't know this. It's very spiritual.
Yeah.
The spiritual community. Let me rephrase that. Your guys are correcting me. I love it. There's a large community, large spiritual community. Is that what drew you there?
I haven't. I know about it energetically. I haven't tapped into it exactly, but I do know there's readers all over the place. There's Reiki all over the place.
Yeah.
There's just amazing energy here in terms of spiritual awareness. And for example, I have a lending library. Leave a book, take a book, one of
Yep.
those.
Yep.
And I put out some spiritual books, and they're gone.
Nice.
Yeah, they're gone.
You need to get in touch with that community. That's going to be very healthy for you. Here, look at me giving you a reading as we're live on the air in front of thousands of people. Okay, 6 people. That's funny. Hopefully one day thousands, right?
One day thousands.
That's our goal. If people wanted to reach out to you, where's the best place they can find Mr. Silas?
The best place is Facebook. So facebook.com/btracks is the business page.
Nice.
But I do have a wee little YouTube channel as well with over 300 videos.
Yes,
and that's also B-Tracks Empowerment.
And some of your videos are just amazing. I have to tell you, I quite often go back and watch there's one video. I don't know where you did it, but it's somewhere near water. You were by a lake or a stream, and you weren't interviewing anybody. You just were talking about something. I couldn't tell you if you held a gun to my head right this second what the talk was about, but I have probably listened to that video, I'm going to say 5 or 6 times. There's something about the energy you have when you're doing your videos that is not of this earth, I'll say.
Well, thank you. I do notice there's a difference in my energy when I'm in the home office. So I'm generally doing them outside.
Yeah. You're very much the nature guy. You like being outside.
Well, and what was super interesting to me is I was filming one day by a big lake and the wind came up and I'm like, oh, it ruined it, right? Because but one of the comments was she loved it because it was like the wind spirit talking to her. And so it's
maybe that's the one.
Let's just go with it.
Yeah. It's as I said before when we were chatting off air, I said I like to keep my I don't like to do a whole lot of research about people I'm going to interview, just for the fact that I like to keep it raw and natural. That's what that is, right?
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself going? What's in the future for B-Tracks and Morgan Silas? Now, you were doing work with
Debbie Kensington. I've been doing collaborations.
Yes.
I can do my own stuff and I can do collaborations. Debbie and I, we're still going strong. We're still out there.
Nice.
She and I are super complementary to each other because we've had many past lives. And
you've lived past lives together, you mean?
Past lives together, yeah.
Nice.
And done the husband and wife thing, done the axe murder thing. Oh yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Well, time out. You can't just say that on Kevali channeling and expect me not to go.
What?
Axe murder thing? Can you reveal what that was? Folks, I warned you. When I was telling people this one's going to be a different talk, I wasn't kidding. I was waiting for it.
You make it sound so naughty, Ken.
How do you not make axe murdering naughty? But I was a nice axe murderer.
Well, okay. So I'll backtrack a little bit. So people, I really much believe in. We've all known each other at least once, some many times. And yes. Debbie Kensington, beautiful soul. I definitely know her. She knows me. And we've done the cycle in terms of marriage, and we've done it in terms of I'll kill you, you kill me next life, all kinds of stuff, right? And every once in a while, we just know that we've danced that dance of she poisoned me at dinner one day, and then the next life I I don't know. I did something to her physically. Yeah.
Axe murderer.
Yeah.
Um, that's awesome. It's cool, and we talk about it just matter of factly. I know from matter of factly, you and I have lived lives together in the past, and we say that and is like,
It's like,
oh, I
yeah.
got goosebumps on my goosebumps. Um, when you took, I've only taken level 1 of Akashic Records. It was, to be honest, it was too much for my brain to handle at that time. Um, I do want to be able to
Yeah.
do it because I think a cool thing to do would be providing past life regressions to find out why you have a un,
Yeah.
unknown pain in your wrist that you just no doctor can explain, but your wrist is sore all the time. You can explain that, can you not?
I can, and I can, and I'm just warning you that sometimes you don't want to know, Kevin. Sometimes,
it's true.
yeah, but
you
it's a beautiful.
offer you offer Akashic Records, do you not?
I do, and it's not really a focus of mine per se, but yes, I do go in and I use it. It's part of my tool bag. I'm kind of the
Right.
guy I see because I have all the modalities. I'm not just one. I'm not just a tarot card reader. I can do this. But yes, absolutely, go
Yes.
into the Akashic records and um, yeah, it can be very beautiful to bring people into their Akashic records.
I'm glad you said it the way you did. You did. It can be very beautiful because I find a lot of people who I'm going to use the word specialize in the Akashic records.
Yeah.
They're always the woe is me. They go for the negative. It doesn't always have to be that way.
No, for example, I'm an axe murderer, and I can own that. But it can be very
I think you're
beautiful.
freaking people out now.
I,
Mind you, our
um,
listenership just skyrocketed because I'm sure everybody's friends called each other, went, "Oh my God, Morgan's talking about
what?
axe murdering."
Well, Sophia's still here. Julie's here. Kim's here. Shelly. Hey.
That's awesome.
It's beautiful because you can go in and you can learn, why your wrist hurts. You can go in and you can see the lives with friends and family, and you can understand why your dad drives you nuts, and
Yes.
maybe how to change that, and maybe how to change the conversation, because you've had the same conversation however many times.
Right.
You know.
Nice thing is, you can also, can you not, go in and remove the emotions around my wrist hurting.
Yes, you can go in and remove like the trauma of battlefield or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Sorry, I have, for some reason, my door opened
yeah,
and now I have we have a 9-week-old puppy.
yeah,
And 1 sec, stop chewing that.
yeah.
She's chewing a box. Don't chew. Sorry. Ellie, if you're listening, can you come grab my puppy? I love it. I warned people it was just going to be one of those nights. Um, but it is important. All of a sudden, get serious. I used to have a reoccurring dream where, and Ellie was kind of freaked out by it because quite often I would wake up and I'd be yelling, get down, they're coming after us, and that was a reoccurring dream. Again, I went to Natasha Willoughby and
Yeah.
Kim, and they literally went into the Akashic Records. Thanks, Ellie. And found out what it was. It was
Yeah.
actually, I was a leader of a platoon and we were captured. And the people who captured us said, if you tell us ABC, we'll save everybody.
Mm.
I told them ABC, and yet they killed everybody. They removed the emotion around that lifetime.
Yeah.
I've never had that dream again. I don't forget it. It's
Yeah.
not something I forgot, but I don't have the emotions around it.
Yeah. And I've had similar, and another healer. She's beautiful, and she helped me a couple times. And she went in and she cleared it, and I completely forgot. Like I blanked out. I kind of said, "What did we talk about?"
Oh,
But
wow.
it was like that was good. That was a
Yeah.
good thing. That was a good thing.
Well, sometimes like you don't want to know. You just want to
You
not
just,
have that fear or that
yeah,
pain or that anxiety is another one I find people with.
right.
Um, and you
Yeah.
can clear that. It can be fixed.
It can be fixed. And what I'm finding, or my opinion is, the veil is so thin now that people who are diving into that, like there's like 10 or 20 different things coming at them, whereas in other lifetimes we wouldn't have done it, right? Our
No,
grandfather wouldn't have dealt with it.
no, not at all. Because you're
Hmm.
right. As as the universe ages,
Yeah.
that I believe that veil, my opinion as well,
Yeah.
is thinner and thinner. Thus, so many more of us
Mhm.
are stepping into our own, I'll say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you run into very many, what the hell are you doing, Morgan, people, when you stepped into your own journey and uh, your spiritual journey?
No, no, and
No.
no. Uh, there's been a mix. There's been a mix, and the friends who are like, "Don't talk to me about that," and then there's the
Yeah.
friends who are like, "Oh, Morgan, are you nuts?" And then there's a wide range, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, it's funny because my passion before decided to go down this path was politics.
hmm,
You can imagine the two polar opposites.
yeah.
Just, it doesn't come together. What's your answer when people say things like, what you're doing isn't real?
Well, you see, I know it is, and so all I can really do is back up and say, "Okay, I don't need to prove it to you. I can
Thank
stand
you.
in my power, and I can know." Because I've had people say, "Yeah, Morgan, that exactly, exactly." Enough times that just because you're not into it, and that's fine, right? I'm not into politics.
Thank you. And we do get it. People are like, you're crazy. Like, you don't really believe this. And I'm like,
Yeah,
as sure enough as I know I'm holding this glass of
yeah.
Gatorade in my hand, I know what I do is real.
Hmm.
There's just, it's just that simple to me.
So here's a philosophy question, Kevin. I'll turn the tables and interview you for a second.
There you go.
So, um, some of the lives and some of the dreams, and just like you, just about every night I have a dream, that's significant. And I'm trying to figure out if it's me in a past life, if it's like the collective trying to sort shit out, or is it just a general memory of like muscle spasm memory or something like that? Like, where does it fit in terms of, is it an actual memory or is it an actual nothing energetic ghost?
It's a reoccurring dream for you though, is it not?
Usually they're themes, and what I mean by, like, lately, for example, I'm doing a lot of self-development themes, like getting the gold star in high school or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the way they're passing messages on to you.
Mm.
When we sleep, I kind of went into my own little head there for a second.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
apologies. Dead
No, no.
airspace. We got to like dead airspace. I'm getting multidimensional.
Thank
Sophie
you. Yeah.
Macarena, she says, I'm getting multidimensional. And it is very much so. Um, Spirit guides with a lot of people during the day, we're too busy.
Mm. Mm.
The world happens and earth happens and our friends are here and family and work and everything else. Our spirit guides get pushed to the back.
Yeah.
When we go into those REM sleeps, we're more easily, that sounds funny, it's easier for them to get messages to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So multidimensional, most
Yeah.
definitely, right?
Yeah.
They want to know what you're doing with those messages. That's hilarious.
Shit. Okay, I gotta go. Bye.
Click
Look at the
buzz.
time. No, yeah, okay. Okay.
It was a rhetorical question.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay, good. I
It
do
was,
actually have a, I do actually have a dream journal too, but yes, yeah,
you know what? More people should do that. More people should have dream journals because how many times have you been in a session and your client says, "Well, I had this dream. Does it mean anything?"
yeah.
And I'm like, "Probably." Um, but you're not telling the right dream. You're mixing dreams up.
Right, right. And what I find is I'll have a little bit of a dream in 6 months, and then there's another little part of the dream 3 months, and then another dream like yesterday.
Yeah.
Then it makes sense. And if I write it down, then I get the same dream instead of different dreams, like you
Well,
said.
exactly. And then you can go, oh, yeah, now I remember. I can flip back through the pages of my
Hmm.
book and
Hmm.
go, oh, I was talking to that guy a month ago.
Yeah.
Um, I, it's funny. I don't dream anymore. I very rarely dream, which is, which is sad. Um,
Why is it sad, Kevin?
cause I used to, yeah, I knew you were going to ask that. It used to be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know my story, but my dad passed away when mom was
Mm.
8 months pregnant with me. When I was a kid, I had dreams of my dad.
Yeah.
We'd sit on the marble staircase and literally have a discussion, just like you and I are.
Mm.
And that's when I was told, that's evil, Kevin. Mom was a very strict Catholic.
Yeah.
That's evil. Do not bring that up. Like you'll be sent away to the funny farm if you bring that up.
Yeah.
So I didn't. I buried it, but I still had the dreams right up
Yeah.
until probably into my early adulthood.
Mm.
Then they went away. And unfortunately, they never, I'll get them once in a blue moon, but they've never really come back to the where they were, where I'd be able to, and I'd love now, knowing what I know now,
Yeah.
to sit and have a conversation with that. I think it would be
Yeah.
amazing. But my guides are like, no, you don't need it anymore.
Mm.
We get what we need, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And funny enough, my dad passed about 5 years ago now, and didn't go. There was a rivalry between the son and the father. But once he passed, and I was eventually able to connect with him once in a while, little. It was much. It's like he's actually really fucking cool over there.
Well, and that's funny because in sessions you get that quite often where like they're like, "Well, she was just a bee when she was here.
Yeah,
She wasn't a nice person." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you got to remember that was her brain and everything else. That was what Earth had made her. Her
yeah,
soul wasn't like that."
yeah,
And they look at you like, "She's actually a really, really nice lady. I'm talking to her right now. She loves you." Well, she never showed me while she was here. And I'm like,
oh, which is the point, right? Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Um, where are you going? What's your plan for B tracks? We kind of touched on it, but we didn't even,
Well, then
we
we
want
then we see, and then we went off. Yeah, whoosh.
squirrels.
Um, More workshops. I'm doing workshops now, and there's more in development.
Nice.
And
And what kind of workshops?
yeah, right at the moment, I'm doing spiritual shake-up ones like Reawakening with Cassandra Finch, beautiful soul, and it's my workshop, it's her workshop, and we could combine them into like I run it, she runs it, and it's one evening.
Oh, nice. And
Yeah.
what? So it's like you're getting people who are practitioners already.
Well, it can be both. We've had people who are kind of like, "Am I even psychic?" Well, come on over and let's find out. Let's have a
Okay.
conversation. And then had people who have been doing it for a few years come in and they're like, "Oh wow, I didn't know that. Oh wow, it opened up a door or two." So
Yes,
it's
exactly.
it's not just for beginners. Yeah.
Nice, nice. And they can find that on your Facebook page.
Yes. Yes,
Are
they
you
can.
like me? You don't have a web page. You just have the Facebook
Well,
page.
my website sucks.
I gave my website up because it was sucked so bad, and I never used it. I use Facebook. I mean, you can book appointments with me right through Facebook. So
Right. Well, it's super simple. Boop boop boop.
yes,
Mhm.
it's easy,
Yeah.
easy, and you can. I mean, I'm 58. If I would have started this business when I was 30, I don't know what I would have done. It's like, how do you connect with people? I connect with people on
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah, yeah. And in some ways, it's a blessing and a curse because, like, I do events. I make an event. I go to all that stuff, and like 3 people see it.
Yeah, it's
It's crazy.
frustrating.
It's
It's
crazy.
frustrating. Um, I know we talked off air about Ken making you do a expo. He forced you. Tell that story because it's an awesome story.
All right, so Mr. Lewicki, who's very calm and he's a nice man. He's a nice man.
We'll tell him that anyways. Love you, Ken.
so so I think I was doing my mentorship with him, and I was on about month 4 of my mentorship with him, and he's like, "Oh, you should go and there was at that time, I'm gonna call it like a Christmas fair, a farmer's market.
Okay,
Anyway,
yep.
a small town. And I was scared to death, and I said, "No, wait, no, 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 no."
Not happening.
And he said, "No, no, go ahead, Morgan. Like, do it. No, like, do it. Like, I challenge you, dude.
Nice.
And so I did, and I had a table, and there was about 20 tables or something like that. But what the miracle was is that I didn't get burned at the stake, didn't get spit on, didn't get a rotten tomato in the face or anything like that. And people, I helped 5 people, which was
Nice.
cool. And most people ignored me, which was awesome.
Which was even better.
Like, it was a score.
Well, it's funny because, as you know, I've helped Ken out at a few different expos that we've been to, but I've never done my own expo.
Yeah.
And I'm actually doing one in June. And like you, I know I saw the comment too. I am literally terrified to do this expo because I've done very few live readings. Most of my readings are done on Zoom
Yeah. Oh,
because
yeah.
when did we start? We started through the pandemic, so it was really simple to do Zoom.
Yep.
And I mean, I have clients everywhere from Kazakhstan to Florida, California, the east coast of Canada to the west coast of Canada.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cool way to do things. But now I'm going to have to step outside my comfort zone.
Get the box of Kleenex, get the nice little tablecloth, get the little sign. There you go.
So it's going to be different. I'm looking forward to it, but I can understand where you're like, I hope people just ignore me and not throw things at me.
Um, it's so interesting to be in like I'm doing a fair actually this weekend.
Oh, awesome.
And in a shopping mall. And what's amazing is I'm the only psychic. And
Oh,
so there's a lot of soap or there's the soap guy, there's the mustard guy, there's the whatever, right? I'm the only psychic guy. And so people will either ignore me or like, try not to make eye contact.
don't
Or
look
they'll
at
come
him.
right over and say, "Here, take my money. Here, I need to talk to Aunt Sally." You know,
That's awesome. Is that in Chemainus you're doing that?
Nanaimo.
In Nanaimo. So people, I know I have with
Yeah,
listeners on the island. If you're in Nanaimo, go check out Morgan.
It's the Nanaimo North Mall.
Nanaimo North
No.
Mall. Beautiful Nanaimo.
Yeah.
We looked at the island actually when we were thinking of moving, and Nanaimo was one of the spots we actually looked at.
Yeah.
In that area, it's beautiful.
Yes.
Anywhere on the island's beautiful. It's like you say, it's a beautiful spot.
Well, and it's very much if you don't like one town, you move 10 miles north or south, and you got a completely different.
And it's literally like moving to a different province, moving from town to town.
Different world.
It really is. It is. It's bizarre, but it's beautiful. Have you traveled much around the island at all?
A little bit. Did like Salt Spring and did a little bit up island, a little bit South Island, and
Have you been on the west coast? I guess it is.
Not. No, there's only so many days in the year, but I gotta go.
Gotta go to Long. Is it Long Island?
Long Beach.
Long Beach. Thank you. I was
Yeah,
like, Long Island. That's a medium.
that's a drink.
No, it's a Long Island medium. She's actually coming to Calgary. The Long Island medium's coming to
Ooh.
Calgary.
You go heckle her.
I would love to. It's right around my daughter's birthday, and she's a huge fan of Teresa. What's her last name? Long Island medium. Anyway,
Yeah.
my daughter's a huge fan of hers. So I'm like, well, we could do a daddy-daughter date, and that would be kind of cool. And then in my head, I'm like, oh God, that would be funny. I could just see myself saying something inappropriate at the wrong time.
That would be fun. I think you should go do. I think you should go
Tape it, he says. Tape
it.
Oh my, holy crap. It's already 7:51. This hour has gone by rather quickly. You had talked about doing
Kim says Caputo.
Oh yes, Teresa Caput. Kim, see, there's always somebody that knows something out there.
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
would be I'd be dead without him. You had talked about doing workshops. Is there plans? I'm feeling like there's plans for you to be teaching more.
Yes. Eventually. Yes, it's sure. So again, it's the B tracks, and what I'm getting across is it's in progress, and it's not like I just one day wake up and, oh yeah, here's a book, and here's the course, and it kind of just rolls, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but yes.
Will you be is it along the I'm getting like channeling, but not really. I don't know what they're trying to tell me. What is it you want to be teaching?
Sure. So the doctor is in, and I would really like to do kind of like what Cryon does.
Oh, very cool.
But I think it's going to be my own version of it.
Yes.
And it's not going to be like trance, as Ken calls it.
Yeah.
Or it's not going to be I'm not sure what it's going to be.
It's going to be more of a hybrid of that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I know people that would benefit from that greatly, actually.
Yeah.
Why does Kim see the name Morgan everywhere she goes?
Because I got people.
They got people. He's got people putting his name everywhere. I'm getting worried about you, axe murderer.
It was just one.
It's just one time. It was just one time. It wasn't like I was a serial axe killer.
Yeah. No, that was another life.
Okay, RCMP or anybody that's listening, we're joking. It was in a past life. This Morgan is innocent. This Morgan is innocent. He's a good guy. Nobody's going to want to come talk to you, Morgan. You're just like Morgan, the axe killer psychic guy.
Right. Maybe over Zoom, not live.
No wonder you don't do in-person healing. Oh my. One more time. The best way to get a hold of you is through your Facebook, which is
B-Trax, Trax, BEETRAX.
Thank you for making sure it was TRAX, because in my head I was saying track.
Yeah.
If there was something you could change from the day you started your journey becoming who you are spiritually, he's just cross. Hey, it's your guide. And you know what I'm going to ask. This is what's funny when I actually have someone on my show that does pretty much the same thing I do. They literally, it's like I start a sentence and they know exactly where I'm going with it. And I'm like, so, and I could shut up and they could answer. No, they want to know where. Morgan, stop.
They already know.
They already know. What's the one thing that you would change? That is, it's like a major thing that you would change, um, going that you. It's not like you did something incorrect, but it was
Yeah.
something. They're talking about you would change your direction quicker.
I probably would have realized how good I was at channeling off the get-go and not
Thank you.
necessarily gone into like the healing and the woo-woo stuff. Like I love my tarot, I love me the tarot cards,
Yes,
but it's channeling.
it's and it's a crutch, is what I think Ken calls it, isn't it?
Yeah, well, when you're doing it live, and this is a pro tip, Kevin, when you're doing it live at a farmer's market, people like visuals.
They do.
But in terms of getting you and me talking and having a good time, we can just channel.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
funny because I have never used anything to channel. And it's only been probably in the last month and a half. I bought this beautiful piece
Nice.
probably a year and a half ago, more than that, probably 2 years ago at a home show here in Airdrie. There's a crystal store that's just outside of town here.
Mm.
And I walked by it twice, and it literally, when they say it called my name, it
Yeah.
literally was like Kevin. So I
Yeah.
bought it, but I never really used it that much.
Yeah.
Over the last, I'm going to say month or so, I seem to be holding it a lot during sessions. Not that I'm asking questions of it. It's almost like it's giving me answers in a way that is deeper than just channeling, which makes no sense to me. But I understand when you say tarot cards,
Mm.
they're useful.
They're useful, and um, it's sometimes like I mostly I read them intuitively in terms of the pretty pictures. Whoops, the pretty pictures, and it's like, oh, okay, you know,
Now,
when,
before we go, you
yeah,
pulled a couple cards.
pulled a couple cards, pulled them for, I pulled them for me, but I'm being told to talk about it to the collective, to the people who are watching.
Yes.
And for those who know, they are cups. They are the king and queen of cups, and they are this beautiful starseed oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. And this one is about community.
Ooh.
And so pulling it together, this is the linchpin, the community of what Kevin's doing here, what I'm doing in my world, what you're doing in your world, building the community. And with the cups, especially the court card of the cups, there's both masculine and feminine, and it's also, this is the end game, Kevin. And what I mean by this is the top of the emotional chart. So what I'm getting across is there's a maturity and nurturing of the emotions, and so they're getting across the community, because community isn't just sticks and stones, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it takes a village.
It definitely takes a village.
Yeah.
And I suppressed laughing my gut off when you said maturity when you're talking with us. Because all we've done is giggled like little school
Right,
children.
and made fun of Ken because yeah.
Because that's what we do. Because we love Ken. I miss him. I've told him this many times since he's moved away, taken his sabbatical over to Belly. It's not like we saw each other every day, but I knew I could just pick up the phone at any
Oh
time
my
and
goodness.
message him,
Right.
and
Yeah.
he'd call me. We'd do a Zoom.
Yeah.
It's not that easy anymore because we're literally at opposite ends of the
Yeah.
clock.
Right.
So Ken, yeah, I bug you all the time, but you know I love you.
We love you.
Yeah, yeah. Morgan, oh, you were going to say something.
What I was going to say is that it seems like the tribe's spreading out over the world. People I went to school with, like they're spreading out, and it
Yes.
seems like there's a plan. It seems like there's a plan.
Everything for a reason. I tell people this
Yeah.
every day. Nothing happens by coincidence. It wasn't a coincidence that Morgan and Kevin decided at the same time to take a level 2 training with Ken Lewicki. We've come from completely different backgrounds, but we're going to end up in the same place.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got goosebumps on my goosebumps, buddy. Um, Thank you so much. I appreciate that you took the time to spend the hour giggling with me, and this is what I think we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Um, there was a little bit of information, hopefully, people gathered from us. A little bit, just a little bit. But you know what? That's, as I said to you before we went on the air, if there's just one person out there that's listening that goes, man, these guys are having fun.
Yeah.
It's not that whole, as you said, woo woo
Mhm.
that it was 10 years ago. Picture it 10 years
Yeah.
ago, 20, yeah, 10 years ago, you went to an expo, especially a spiritual expo.
Yeah.
It was woo woo.
Yeah. And to me, people are starting to understand real discernment. They're starting to really go,
Yes.
this is the person I need to talk to. This is the person I can, maybe if there's time, and this person, maybe next year. We're understanding our intuition a lot better.
We are, as we go farther into the age of Aquarius and
Yep.
everything's changing, we're going to see more and more of us
Thank you, Kim.
continuing to do. Kim, I think I have to have Kim on the show, do I not?
I think so. Yeah.
I think I'm supposed to have Kim on the show. She thinks we're funny. She's easily humored, okay? Anyways, thank you so much. Let's keep in touch. I have a feeling we'll be doing something together soon.
Sounds good, Kevin. It's been delightful.
Okay. And to everybody listening, thank you for tuning in. Tune in next week. We will have another guest. To be honest, I don't have anybody booked right now. I mentioned how crazy my week was, and
Yeah.
Morgan goes, "It's only Monday." I have a whole 7 days to book a guest. I will have somebody to come on because we won't be doing mini readings on the show anymore. It's strictly going to be what you've come to kind of this has grown into, which is more of an interview show. If you want the mini readings, Graham and I have decided that every third Wednesday of every month, we're going to do mini readings. Last time we did it, it was insane how many people tuned in. Were you watching that one, Morgan?
I haven't been able to catch it. I've had a hell of a month.
We literally let everybody into the Zoom call at once. I think we had 17 people in, and we were trying to do readings. Never again. It was insane. It was just, so we're just going to do one at a time like we used to. And it's going to go. I think we're going to end up doing it more than once a month. We just started doing it once a month now. I think there's going to be enough of a demand to do it maybe twice a month. All I'm going to end up doing every evening, it looks like, is I'm going to be doing some kind of podcast of some kind, which is cool. But anyways, till next week, you guys take care. Morgan, thank you so much. We will definitely be in touch. And I'm going to click that button.